secondly, my brothers and sisters, I have proof because not only does he clean up mess, but secondly, I got proof because he showed the disciples his marks. Look here in verse 19 through 20. He said it was still the first day of the week that evening while the disciples were behind closed doors because they were afraid of the Jewish authorities. Jesus came and stood among them. He said, peace be with you. Whisper to your neighbor and tell them, peace be with you. Come on, tell them, peace be with you. After he said this, he showed them his hands. He showed them his side. And when the disciples saw the Lord, the record is they were filled with joy. Can I be honest with you? Can I be transparent with you? Some of us are afraid to show you marks. And let me put a disclaimer out there. All of us, if we were honest and transparent, got some marks on us. I wish I had one or two people in here that'll help me because ain't nobody in this church without sin. And some of you keep fronting and acting as if you got it all together. Come on here and be honest and be authentic with me. Life has done all of us a hand that has caused us to make us want to throw our hands up and holler. I got to come back and get one or two of y'all. I said life, Bruce, has done all of us a hand that has caused us to make us want to throw in the towel and throw up our hands and holler. Jesus showed his disciples his marks because he's not afraid of what tried to hold him down. I wish I had a half a witness up in here. Since Jesus knows, and my God, can I just walk right here? Can I hang out here for a moment, sing the statesman? Jesus is known by his marks, and you and I will be known by our marks. If the truth be told, we are not known by our name, we are known by our marks. Oh, you gotta help me, somebody, because you know people around us, they say things like this. They say, she is the one that was drinking and driving and lost her license, don't know her name, but know her by the mark. He is the one that just got fired for embezzling money, don't know his name, but knows his mark. She is the one that's strung out on drugs and alcohol, don't know her name, but knows her marks. Come on in here. He is the one that's got 5 different babies by 5 different women, don't know his name, but knows his mark. And if the truth be told, you ought to tap the person next to you and tell them you are known by your marks. And some of us are scared to tell your story. But can I shout in this house that your marks, beloved, are a sign of a great testimony. I come against pride. I come against all of this works of the flesh that don't want you to be who God has made you to be because you're trying to hide behind who you really are. But I wish I had a half a witness in here that says, listen, I got a testimony that the marks in my life have not made me bitter but made me better. The text said, Lord have mercy, after he showed them his hands and his side, when the disciples saw the Lord, they were filled with joy. My God, I'm looking at some of you now, and God has been so good to you, and your marks, your scars, and your wounds, you got to tell it. I'm not the only one that has a story behind my glory. Lean over, tell your neighbor, I know he's right. Tell him I know he's right. I might as well go and preach. This is Resurrection Sunday. I don't believe I'm the only one in this room that have a story behind my glory. When I think about the goodness of Jesus and all he's done for me, all the hell and the hot waters and trials and tribulations he brought me through, tell your neighbor, don't miss this. I'm still here to tell the story. I could be dead, and some of us should be be dead, sleeping in our grave. But I dare somebody in this room to touch your neighbor and tell them, let me see one or two of your scars. Oh God, I wish I had some help in here. I wish you was bold enough and transparent enough, real enough and authentic enough, and said, listen, I'm not going to misjudge you. I'm not going to throw you out with the bathwater if you just let me see one or two of your scars. Because the reality is, I am the way that I am because there's scars that's been in my life. But I want you to know, my brothers and sisters, don't look at me all strange and all funny because all of us have had some adverse childhood experiences, and all of us know what it feels like to have some wounds, some scars, and some cuts. Come on, I'm almost out of here, but I dare you to look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, show me one or two of your scars. Yeah, because when I was in a lost world of sin, Mother Elliot, I had some scars. You must understand, the scar is when I got sour to all this stuff I've been through. Tell your neighbor, that's a scar. The scar is when I tried to help somebody and I end up hurting my own self. Tell your neighbor, that's a scar. You ought to say, neighbor, show me your scar. I'm almost out of here. I wish I could hang out here, but I really got to go because my third and final point is this. Not only if you're going to understand, my brothers and sisters, that I really got proof. The first thing that he did was that he didn't leave a mess. Secondly, he showed the disciples his marks. But third and final, can I preach it here? This is not the least and it's not the last, but I got some proof because I saw my Savior for myself. Oh, here it is in verse 24. I ain't making this up, Thomas. Help us to see that the Savior for ourselves. You know Thomas. You know he was called Didymus. He was one of the 12. He wasn't with the disciples when Jesus came. You know Thomas. The other disciples told him, we've seen the Lord. But Thomas replied, unless I see the nail marks in his hands, I'm getting happy right now. I put my finger in his wounds. I left my nails and put my hand in his side. I won't believe. I'm almost out of here, but after 8 days, somebody shout 8 days. After 8 days, his disciples were again in a house, and Thomas was with them. Somebody shout the 8th day. It sounds like to me some new beginnings are on the horizon. And if you can just wait till the 8th day, somebody shout the 8th day. It may be dark right now, it may be gloomy right now, but you're just in your 7th day. If you can just hold on to the 8th day, I will prophetically announce over your life, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. I don't know how you feel about it, but on this Resurrection Sunday, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you stand to your feet, because we're on our way out of here, and why don't you lock hands with somebody, and why don't you tell them, say, neighbor, I've seen the Lord for myself. Come on, say, neighbor, even though doors are locked, come on, say, neighbor, even though there is some obstacles, Jesus is getting ready to come through. Tell your neighbor he's getting ready to come through. And the Bible said is that when he got there to Thomas on the 8th day, I heard him say that peace be with you. Come on, whisper in your neighbor's ear, say, neighbor, shalom be with you. Come on, say, neighbor. That's the Hebrew expression. But come on, say, neighbor, peace be with you. And Thomas responded. He says, my Lord and my God. I heard Jesus say, you believe because you see me. But blessed are those who don't see me but yet believe.